Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Reign Draft the Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So, if you didn't catch the first episode, you basically just missed all of our scouting progress up to the draft. And yeah, I'm very excited to get into the draft. Obviously, I don't really know fully on who I'm going to be going with. I did take note of who was players we were scouting in last episode, so I kind of have like a little bit of like a short list that obviously I will be putting up here when we actually get into the draft. And yeah, hopefully we can get some really good players to start building this team around. Obviously, we're not going to be a good team out of the gate, so I don't really care about our player stats this season and all that type of thing. But obviously, starting to build this team up via the draft is very crucial in the early stages. I don't know how many years you could go to in this type of franchise mode, so we might be able to go for quite some time, but I really want to get this team a World Series. Like, not necessarily like in the next 10 seasons. I'd say it's probably more realistic to say most like 20 seasons onwards, just because it's definitely going to take us a while to build up like every single position in that type of thing, where to it's a point where it could actually be somewhat competitive even in the MLB. And then after that, making the playoffs and then getting our team to a World Series, we're going to have to be having a very, very good roster. So at that point, so we definitely need players to develop well. We need to hope that we don't draft any guys with injury problems, that type of thing. But anyways, before we get into the draft, I do have quite a few comments to go over. So the first one is from Christopher Davis, who says, grew up playing the show games, got away from them as I got into early adulthood. Needless to say, I'm very excited for the series. I really enjoyed the My Players series on the last game. Also, I think you should use Rule 5 drafts, mostly because I'm curious on how those work in games. So yeah, the Rule 5 draft, I think we are definitely going to use that in the series. So we are allowed to claim players in the Rule 5 draft. But obviously, I think we might have to do some sort of a threshold on it. So like maybe I could only claim guys that are a certain potential on it, just to fill out a roster more or whatnot. I don't know. I feel like it could be a little bit too easy because some teams are kind of stupid and don't put good players on their 40-man roster. But I mean, it kind of makes sense for us to allow us to at least claim some players in the Rule 5 draft as well. And that way we're building up our team a little bit quicker. Because if we only do the amateur draft, it's going to take quite some time because we're going to have like one season without those players and we're going to get those players. And then we're going to have to keep on doing that every single time. So I think the Rule 5 draft will help us out a little bit in terms of building up that roster a little bit quicker. The last two final comments are from Nick Bacher Barons OC, who says, looking forward to the draft. And then he also says, we will see. I would go with whoever you feel has a safer floor / interest. Keep in mind, 50% interest essentially gets you to where you have to majorly overpay for their contract. Sometimes I offer the max I could at 50%, and they laugh at me sometimes, even 55%. It has happened. And yeah, that is a scary thing. So I was literally watching Tugi's stream literally last night. I don't know when you guys are seeing this episode, maybe on Saturday, but literally on his stream on March 28th, I guess. And there was a time where his player that he was drafted 7th overall, I think there was like a 90-something% interest in him, from him, yet he rejected the contract offer. That was absolutely outrageous, and I really hope we don't run into any problems like that, because that's what's going to make this draft to glory a big challenge, is if we can't re-sign or can't sign players we draft, because if we can't sign them, then obviously we're just going to go bad and have to tank again for another good pick and that type of thing. So yeah, hopefully we make the right call in this year's draft with who we pick up. So, and hopefully the AI doesn't be smart enough to choose who I am looking at potentially. So, before we actually get also into the draft, I have 4 guys that I listed as potential guys that we probably should be drafting, if you guys remember them from last episode. So I think the unanimous choice for the first pick for us, if we have the chance, would be Steve Schneider, who was the 3rd baseman. He could potentially be a pretty high up overall potential and could be a solid overall rating too. He might be more of a project player, but he also might be a solid player nonetheless. And then Barney Doyle, who was an outfielder, could be a really good pick as well. If we have to take him, we might take him because he could also play second base and all the outfielding positions. Then there was Oliver Cairo, who's a starting pitcher straight out of high school, who also looks like he could be pretty solid. And then there's Chase Magruder, who he's kind of an interesting one. He has potentially the highest rating and a solid potential at like a 90. But the only problem is that he's 21 already, and he is a 4-year junior, which means I think we have to wait 4 years before we can actually sign him. I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure the guys out of high school, you can literally sign right away and they'll be on your team next season. But the 4-year junior ones, you have to wait a little bit, I'm pretty sure, on, because I was doing some like test offline modes, and it seems like you have to wait a couple of years. I could be wrong with that. But I'm pretty sure that's the difference with the 4-year junior and a high school guy. So we're definitely trying to prioritize those high school players over those 4-year juniors in a sense, just because I don't want to have to wait a few years to actually sign them in for our team. Now, what's interesting about Magruder, though, is he does have 68% interest already. So if we were to draft Chase Magruder, there's a good chance that he would sign with us. Now, Steve Schneider, the guy I'm looking at the most, the third baseman, he only has 46% interest, so we're definitely going to have to get that interest up there a lot more in terms of the contract stuff if we actually are able to draft him. Barney Doyle only has 39%, so he's another one. We'll have to crank up that interest quite a bit. And then Oliver Cairo had 53% interest, so definitely the two pitchers have more interest in joining the team. So we'll have a better chance of signing them, but I definitely really want Steve Schneider, and I really hope that he could fall to us at number 6, because I think we have the 6th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, unless the draft lottery takes into effect then. But yeah, let's get into this draft and see what we got. I am very excited to get into this. Obviously, like I said, I am going to be keeping note of every single draft pick we have in this series on a spreadsheet. I might end up making that spreadsheet public so you guys can eventually see the players that we end up drafting, because it'd be kind of neat for you guys to be able to know exactly who we're drafting and all that type of thing over the next few years and all that type of thing. So let's sim to the draft and get into our first draft of the series. This is the only thing we're going to be doing in this episode is the draft, and it's going to be interesting. Let's add some prospects to our draft queue. This is another thing that's kind of new. So scout it out. Let's add just everybody to it, and then we'll reorganize this a little bit too. Let's add all the 100%ers first, though, because all the 100% scouted ones are more accurate, or they should be more accurate unless our scouts are incorrect. So get all these 100% guys, not the 95. Did I add Voylet? Not yet. There's another 100%. I really hope we did a good job scouting-wise, and I really hope my scouts are accurate with some of these guys. Okay, let's add now the 95s. There was a 95. There we go. Okay, there's another 95. Just want to keep this kind of sorted already. Okay, so that's good on that front. Let's get all the 85s, which I think there was only one. And then we'll get the 55s. There's a 55. There's a 55. And that's it for 55s, I think. No, one more here. We have a 50. There's another 55. Actually, already have them on there. So now let's get the 50s. And then we'll definitely reorganize this a bit in terms of everything. We'll look at some players as well, a little bit more in depth, because we didn't really take a look at their cards in the last episode. So yeah, everybody should be on our list now. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look at these players here. So let's start off by organizing this to where I had it on my spreadsheet, and then we'll see about these top guys, because I think these top guys in particular are the ones that we're definitely going to be looking at here. So yeah, let's leave all these other guys for now, but let's take a look at Steve Schneider here first. He could be a 78 to a 93 potential, so that's kind of a wide range, but he still should be a serviceable MLB player. He could be between a 52 and a 67. I really hope that it's in the 60s, because if he's a 52, he's going to take a while to develop, but at least we have the time. Right now, he doesn't look like he's a good contact hitter at all. He's more of a power hitter, which is something that we could definitely use. His power in the future is going to be above average, potentially, and his power versus righties is going to be average, so he's not necessarily the best hitter. He's more of a good defensive third baseman, it looks like, because he's got good fielding potentially in the future. He's got really good reaction, speed, and stealing, so he might be a good pinch hitter, pinch runner and stuff like that too. So yeah, this guy might be good still. Steve Schneider, I think, is definitely still my number one. Barney Doyle. This guy's 19 years old, but look at his potential. 95 maybe. He's got maybe a sub to a 73 overall. He's got really good power potentially against left-handed pitchers. and then average against power righties. So yeah, Barney Doyle might be actually a good power hitter too. And then he also has really good outfielding. He's got really good speed, potentially 99 speed in the future, it says maybe. Really solid stealing too, good arm strength. So he would definitely be a really good outfielder with some good power too, which is not bad at all. And then we have at number 3, we have Oliver Cairo, who I was looking at as well as a potential pitcher prospect. Good arm strength, good arm accuracy, or solid arm accuracy, or above average, I should say. Good stamina. Hits per 9 is a bit average. He still might be pretty good. And then Chase Magruder. This guy has 80 to 90 potential. So he's going to have a good potential regardless, I think, unless our scouts are inaccurate. But he hopefully has this good starting overall since he's already 21. But yeah, this guy could be a stud of a pitcher too. So I really just hope that if we end up losing out on some of these guys, that at least like one of my Steve Schneider is still available at 6. Let's take a look at these other guys here. Giancarlo Zavala. Let's actually reorganize the rest of this a bit. Like, we'll keep our top 4 the same, but let's reorganize this a bit based on like potential. Which I think it already is kind of. Yeah, I think it kind of already is. And we'll just leave it kind of like this, and then we'll kind of look through this when we actually get to our pick. But let's get into this draft and see what we end up getting. And yeah, hopefully the top 3 picks in this year's draft. Hopefully, hopefully just we don't lose out on all 4 of these guys. I'm hoping at least one of them falls to us. Because I think I would definitely, like, if Cairo was the guy, I'd take Cairo because he's at least a good pitcher prospect potentially. Doyle obviously would be a really great outfielder and power hitter. Schneider could be a good defensive third baseman, and a Magruder would be solid as well. But the only problem is him being a four-year junior, which I think I have to wait time before I could sign him. Here we go. Let's get into this draft. I love this cutscene stuff. Let's see who ends up going first overall and all that. We have the 6th overall pick. It's funny how it still shows A's there, even though we're now the Vancouver Reign. So it's Pittsburgh, Washington, Detroit, Texas, and the Twins. And hopefully none of them take any players we need. Let's start up this draft and see who Pittsburgh takes at number 1. Pittsburgh at number 1 is going to select... it's a white guy. Please don't be... It might be like one of the guys we were looking at. Oh, it's Magruder. Magruder goes first overall. His doctor exam says injured, according to our scouts. That's an interesting thing as well. I didn't even take a note of that. But Pittsburgh taking Magruder, so we won't get the 4-year junior, which is good. We'll definitely keep note of where some of these players go as well, because it'd be kind of interesting to see what their overalls are at the end of this draft. So yeah, Magruder is a Pittsburgh Pirate, unless he decides not to sign there. Who knows? Number 2, who is Washington going to take here? Because it is Washington now, right? Yeah, it's Washington. It's a darker guy, so it's not going to be Schneider. It's going to be Dominic De La Cruz, somebody that I never scouted. He's already 21 as well, so he might be a little bit high up overall because he's of age, but might have a high ceiling. Who knows? Their scouts are pretty high on him, apparently. So there's Dominic De La Cruz, a starting pitcher as well. So might be a pitcher-heavy draft. And number 3, what are we getting? Please no white guy. Oh, it's a white guy. Oh, it might be our guy. Might be our guy. Hopefully it's not. Okay, it's not. Richie Alleman is the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft. He's already a 22-year-old, so that might be a bit of a reach there for Detroit. Because if that guy is only like a 66 at 22, I mean, that's not bad, I guess, but it's kind of a bit low if he's that low. But if he's like an 85 at 22, obviously that would be insane. But there's Detroit's pick at number 3, another pitcher. So now we got to rely on the Twins and Texas to not take our guys, but we have a choice probably between at least Schneider, Doyle, and Cairo. Depends of which one of these go off the board. Hudson just went. Somebody I never looked at before. He was the unanimous, apparently, number 1 pick. So this guy might be the best steal there. So Texas might have got a good steal there. And Hannah goes at number 5, which means we have a choice between 3 guys that we liked. So Schneider, maybe a project guy. Doyle. Barney Doyle kind of is really interesting as well, just because of that power potentially. 58 to 73, 52 to 67. 1 year younger for Schneider. I think I got to go with Schneider still. And then just Cairo. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Steve Schneider. He's been like my gut feeling the entire time. I mean, Barney Doyle is going to be a stud. I hope he's still there somehow in the competitive round balance pick that we have. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Schneider here. Let's hope that Schneider is good. Obviously, he, like I said, his interest is not the highest, so we're going to have to get that super high up when we get the chance. But here we go. First ever pick in Vancouver Reign history. We choose Steve Schneider. And yeah, hopefully that wasn't a huge reach there. The MLB had him ranked at 22, so hopefully our scouts were really bang on in terms of him being a top 5 pick. There we go. He also played first base, which is good too, so... Let's see how long it takes before Barney Doyle and Cairo go off the board. It's probably not going to take long, I bet you. Let's see if the Reds take any of them. Mora goes, okay. Let's actually just sim to our next pick and then take a look back at the last round. So looks like, yeah, our guys went off the board afterwards. So Gaucho, one of the guys we were scouting, he went to the Angels. Doyle goes after him to the Diamondbacks. That's an interesting one. Interesting. And Halbrecht also we scouted went to Boston. Cairo went to the Giants at 16. Voylet went to the Orioles. I wasn't really sold on Voylet. Poole went to Seattle. So a lot of guys that we scouted are off the board already. We only have 5 guys left on the board here. So we have Alex Ramirez, who's 20 years old. He's going to be a low overall potentially, but might be solid. There's also Fletcher Hoffman, not as a high ceiling. He hasn't been scouted that much. Yeah, the rest of these guys aren't scouted as much. So I don't trust them that much. So I think I have to go with Ramirez here just because I haven't scouted the rest of them that much. So let's draft Alex Ramirez. Short little guy. But yeah, hopefully he's like a 59 at 20. Because if he's a 47 at 20, that's not going to look like a good one. We're definitely going to try and sign all these guys as well, though, because we want them to be on a roster next season. But yeah, this is not looking too good. Because we're running out of chances to get picks that we had scouted out. So we're going to have to probably make some blind picks soon. Frank Castro goes. Do I want to give a chance on Fletcher Hoffman? He's a second baseman, might have some good contact hitting. Or actually below average contact hitting wise. He might be a really good stealer though and stuff like that, and speed, reaction. Yeah, I might go with Fletcher Hoffman here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Fletcher Hoffman here. This might be a random steal. It might be terrible. We didn't scout him out fully, so let's hope that he's good. Our scouts have him ranked at 85. That's the only problem, but I mean, he hasn't been fully scouted yet, so it might be actually higher than that. Let's sim to our next pick. And now we're down to 2 guys. Juan Ortega and Aussie Cardenas. So after our last pick, where did those other guys go? Don't see them. I don't even remember their names. There's too many good names to remember. Okay, let's see what we could take here. 3rd round. We could take a chance on some of these guys as well since we scouted them out, which I think I might do. Our scouts have him ranked at 66 and 151. I guess we'll take Cardenas since our scouts say he's supposed to go higher. And then we're going to start going completely blind soon, which is not great. Also, we need to scout out the draft a little bit better, and we just lost out on the last guy they were looking at. Oops. Oh, yeah, there's Ortega going to Miami as well. Okay, now we have to go in completely blind, so I guess we'll go on based on maybe the potential and the age. 99 and 18 and a starting pitcher. Might be as low as a 29 overall, but Garth Howe. Let's take a chance on you. And yeah, hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's good. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this stage because we can't really do any better than this. I really hope that we got a good pick though with Schneider, because hopefully our first ever draft is at least somewhat of a successful one. We're definitely going to take a look at what other teams did around the league as well. Relief pitcher, that might be good, but he's already 21. Any other 99 maybes? Right fielder and Bill O'Donnell. And let's take a chance. Let's take a chance with O'Donnell here. Our scouts had him ranked around the same as the MLBs. So, and let's go to our last pick of the draft. Let's see if we could find a random steal here without knowing anything about these guys. Justin Cervantes. This guy's 23 years old and might be a 56, so no thank you on that front. 99 here. Might be a really low overall, but Ollie Gelman, you're going to be our last pick of the draft. Let's see how good these guys turn out. Well, definitely have to offer them contracts and stuff first, so that's going to take a little bit, but that is our draft. And hopefully it was a successful one. Let's advance a few days so we could actually get to the contract negotiation portion. And obviously we're going to put Schneider's top interest, so he hopefully gets that interest meter up there as much as possible so we could sign him, because I don't want him rejecting, because that would be really unfortunate way to start off the series. Okay, we got to wait like another day or so, it looks like. I think another day. Yeah, now we can. Okay, perfect. Let's just get rid of these damn notifications. Okay. So, sign draft picks. Let's see how good we can get these guys. So, our interest meter, let's remove all these guys currently from this thing. Also, I do need to adjust a couple things after this, is the automatic signing stuff. Where is Schneider? I literally have players continue to disappear after a while. What the heck is this? Where is he? Schneider is nowhere. I was playing this last night and it seems like players just don't show up in this part. So I guess I can't offer Schneider yet. Huh. Actually, no, there's Ramirez, round 138, but I don't know what the heck happens with that. It's weird. So I guess we'll put Ramirez as the top person since he was a first rounder. Then we'll put Cardenas since he was a third rounder, and who is the fourth rounder? Is Garth Howe. Garth Howe actually already has a lot of interest, which is good. We'll put we'll put Garth Howe on this part for now, and we'll advance it a few days. See if we could get contracts in auto. I didn't want that on auto. Let me go to settings, mode specific, contracts, manual. We want that on manual. Trades, manual. I don't know why that's all sent to auto. Roster moves, manual. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I don't know why it was like that. Oh well. Okay, let's advance 3 days, and then we'll see again about these guys' interest meters getting better. Okay. Interest meter. Yeah, we can't even sign Schneider, though. That's kind of weird. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's an actual thing. Okay, Ramirez is getting up to 42. That's good. We need him to get as much as possible since he was a first rounder. Garth Howe's almost a guaranteed that we might be able to sign him. I'm not 100% sure of that. But let's get that up a little bit more for another 3 days. And then we'll focus on the other guys as well. Or some of the other guys as well. Okay, let's see what we got here. 61, 56, 45. Yeah, Ramirez needs to stay there. But these other guys, we're going to move them for now. So that's Cardenas and Howe. Let's get O'Donnell's interest up, or else we won't be able to even give him a contract offer. And let's put Gelman on there too. Hopefully get those guys interested, especially O'Donnell. I don't know how good some of these guys are going to be honest, but we might end up signing them and they might end up not being that good. So let's go another 3 days. Where are we in terms of interest? 38 and 45. Okay, Ramirez is getting close, which is good. Yeah, let's keep it for 3 more days. And yeah, soon we'll offer some contracts. We'll definitely take a look at how good the AI teams did around the league in terms of this draft as well in this episode. Even though this episode's already around 25 minutes. It might be a little bit of a longer one, but it is okay, I think. 51% on Ramirez now is pretty good. We will move him to second priority and O'Donnell to number 1 priority. And these guys all still have looking like good potential, but some of them are going to be really low overall, as it looks like. So let's see. Let's change you to second. Actually, let's keep them all at number 1 still. But I mean, Ollie Gelman might be really good potentially. Yeah, let's move you to number 2 priority and advance another few days. Sim through that and auto on that, and let's see what we got here. Okay, so yeah, now it's almost to the time where we're gonna offer contracts. Like, we're gonna do this on the last day of the signing deadline. O'Donnell's only at 43. And I can't offer contracts on Gelman and O'Donnell yet because they're not above 50%, I think. Yeah, it's not good. We might not end up losing out on a few prospects. But let's go a few more days to the last day of the signing deadline, which I believe is the 1st. So let's auto utilize. There you go. No, don't stop simulating. Boom. Okay, here's the last day to sign these guys. This is where we're gonna have to actually offer some contracts. So let's remove these guys and focus in on Ramirez first. We have 6.74 of allotment money. Okay, I just had to open up the calculator on my phone so I could kind of do a little bit of math here. So 674 million in allotment money. What is the max we could give to Ramirez? It's kind of a bit. But I mean, we could get him to 70% interest doing 2.92. Let me actually just write down some of these things as well. So 674. And then we have 2.92 in allotment money going towards Ramirez in his contract. I think, yeah, 2.92 is probably where we'd do on that. That would leave us with, how much is the thing? That would leave us with 3.82 left. Yeah, it says on there of allotment money. So with the other guys, let's prioritize. Let's just prioritize everybody. How much is like Cardenas and stuff like that? Interest in them. Get up to 70. He wants like 1.92. Ooh, that's a bit expensive. I might have to take a chance at a 60% interest. So Cardenas would want 109. Let me write down all these numbers, and then we'll see how much we could potentially offer these guys at max. This is where this type of thing is going to get a little bit tricky, because we don't want to lowball these guys and lose them. Okay, so Howe should be relatively cheap as well, but also we don't have a lot of money to spend in allotment money. So 118. I'm just writing down everybody's contracts right now. Let's remove you. What about the other guy, O'Donnell and Gelman? So O'Donnell, he does not want a lot in terms of allotment money, but to get him over 65 interest, we have to go over $1 million as well. So I might have to do 954K on him. 954,000. And yeah, there's a chance we might not get some of these guys, which is unfortunate. And Gelman, who looks like he could be really good. Yeah, we should be able to easily get Gelman. Like 940K, that should almost guarantee it, but he might reject still. But we'll do 940K written down. Okay, let me do some math here quickly. So we had 6.74 million of allotment money. And then we were down to 3.2 when I did the other guys, or 3.82. Let's minus the next guy's money. Okay, that's good. We'd be down to 273. Next guy. And we should be down to 1.55. Yeah, we might not be able to give the first pick that much amount of allotment money at 2.92. But I feel like we should probably be doing that just because he was the first rounder. Might be able to talk him down to 2.61. Yeah, I think I'm going to try 2.61 for Ramirez here. I'll leave us with 4.13 for the rest of the guys. Not really sold on his overall, but his potential might be decent, and we have time to develop these guys. So, Alex Ramirez, will you sign with the Vancouver Rain? No, he will not. Oh my goodness, that's not a good way to start off with. At least we have Schneider for future players, but Ramirez has decided he does not want to sign here. Well, it means we have enough money for the rest of the guys, but that really sucks. 60-something% interest and no interest in that contract. Let's add these other guys here. Let's start off with, actually you, Cardenas. Let's start actually offering with Howe first. We should be able to get the rest of these guys back, or get these guys in easily, I think. Oh wow, we lose that allotment money regardless if we try and offer it to a guy and they reject. Wow, okay, that's a load of shit. Damn. Okay, so how I was looking at potentially doing, how much was it, 954 I think it was, or was he no, he was the 118, no, 940. Who do I want to prioritize signing next? Probably Gelman and Howe. Let me just remove Cardenas for a second. Let me get the other guy in here. O'Donnell. Yeah, I probably need to prioritize these guys. Okay, Garth Howe, let's tuck you up a little bit here. That should get it done. Well, let's just go a little bit less, because 74 to 76 ain't a huge difference. Come on, Garth Howe. Will you sign with the Vancouver Rain? And he has accepted. So we get Garth Howe. It looks good. Hopefully he's a solid pitcher, and hopefully we didn't overpay on him. Bill O'Donnell. What are you wanting again? Oh yeah, you're the cheap guy. Ooh, that's 62% interest. Gelman. Yeah, I should be able to get Gelman here for 944. Let's do it. Hey, there we go. Ollie Gelman has accepted. Hopefully he's actually good. We have Bill O'Donnell still and Cardenas still. Cardenas was our higher up pick, so should probably prioritize him. We got 2.43 left of allotment money. We should be able to get both of them in, I hope. What is O'Donnell wanting again to get like above 50? 875. Yeah, I'll go to 940k. Come on, Bill O'Donnell. This is a risk as well. 61% interest. Will he accept and sign with the Vancouver Rain? He does. Let's go. Let's go. So we didn't get our first round pick, but we're getting everybody else so far, and we could go to max with Cardenas. So 65% interest. Come on, Cardenas, please. And he also accepts. Perfect. So unfortunately, we lose out on one of the guys, but we get everybody else. So that is good. And now we have everybody signed. That is good as well. We got to wait a few days before we can take a look at how good those players are. And we'll take a look at the entire league as well for prospects. And then that'll be it for this episode at that point, because we're we're kind of having a pretty long episode here, but it is what it is. It's important to know what our draft picks are looking like. Okay. I am not going to be looking at the screen. I'm just going to quickly tap through this. Maybe I'll make even a jump cut in the editing afterwards so you guys don't see it right away. But let's take a look at what we got. Steve Schneider, B potential. So not as high as we thought, but 61 overall at 18 is really good. So that's pretty solid. And yeah, he's more of a power hitter than anything. But Steve Schneider, I think, is a win. Even though he doesn't have A potential, B potential is solid, and him being that good at 18, that's also good. So yeah, this guy's pretty solid. More of a defensive player and speedy guy, but I'll take it. That is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's see what our second pick is looking like. Or actually, we can't even take a look at our second pick because he didn't sign with us. Fletcher Hoffman, the next pick. C and 51. Not really that good. Low overall, low potential. Might still end up making the MLB team at some point because we're a draft to glory team after all. But there's Fletcher Hoffman. Another one of those guys that I think we have to wait on to actually offer a contract to. So there you go on his front. He's just more of a speedy guy, so he might honestly be like kind of like a pinch runner for us. Our next pick, Cardenas. Okay, 71 at 18 is fantastic, but a C potential is not. But I think that's still a win. Look at that contact hitting. That contact hitting is pretty good. Did we even scout that guy? I don't even remember. I don't think we did. I think that was one of the random shots in the dark. So yeah, this guy's a fantastic contact hitter. That is a really good one. He could easily be a pinch hitter or something like that, but I think that's a good one. Even though the potential's low, the overall is really great out of the draft at 18. Can't complain with that. Next pick, Garth Howe. Holy shit. Yo, we just found a stud. Oh boy, that was a shot in the dark too, right? Garth Howe is an absolute animal. Just the question is, what is his potential in terms of overall rating? But 63 at 18. At 18 years old, A potential. Garth Howe is a future ace, potentially. I hope he has like 99 potential, because that'd be friggin' nuts. That is a fantastic way to start off this series, because I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to find a late round steal after our draft thing got knocked completely out. And then Bill O'Donnell, not bad either. Right fielder, B potential, 48 at 18. Obviously, he's not great, but obviously he has a lot of room to develop into being something. He's also from Canada, which is kind of nice. And then Gelman, 51, A potential at 18. Okay, so we got a couple late round steals here in our draft. He's from Georgia. Garth Howe from California. Cardenas from Puerto Rico. Hoffman from Minnesota. And Schneider from California. And yeah, there we go. That is our draft. And Garth Howe has 99 potential. Let's go. Let's freaking go. That is a massive, massive steal. Woo! What round was that in that we drafted him even? I don't even remember now. And then Gelman has 99 potential as well at 18 as a center fielder. That is fantastic. He's really speedy. Wow. That was a home run of a draft. That's exactly what we need to start the series off with. Schneider has a lower potential than some of these guys, but he's still going to be a solid third baseman, I think. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a solid third baseman. He could get up to like an 87. Hoffman's definitely our worst pick. Cardenas, he's kind of a win too because of the fact that he's a 71 already at 18. Like, this is a really solid draft for us. So there is that. Let's take a quick look through these teams. I'm not going to read out everybody's names. We're just going to look at it like kind of steal players. Rico Chassin, pretty solid. I'll skim kind of through this, and if there's anybody that I did scout, we'll definitely mention them in particular. Wow, that closer is a 73 at 22. It's decent. Not the highest potential in the world still. Manuel Cabrera, 88 potential. I hope some of the guys that we were looking at before aren't that good, because then it'll make it look better this draft. Johan Tavares, 91 potential. Jeez. Oh, we were looking at Brandon Shealy, and he's worse than Schneider, so I'm kind of glad I didn't take him, but he's still decent. 52 out of 18 and 80 potential, so he could be a solid like second, third baseman, like a depth guy. That's not bad. What else we got for players I was looking at? Oh, damn. Clifford Aldridge is really good. So it seems like there were some good outfielders in this year's draft. 99 potential at 22, but he's only a 59. Oof. So glad I didn't go for Justin Kofi. 69. This guy was the second overall pick. Yeah, this guy was the second overall pick, and he's only a 69 at 21, but he has 86 potential only too. So I think Washington kind of done goofed with that second overall pick. It's not the greatest. They didn't have a great draft overall wise. I mean, De La Cruz could be still something good, but he's not going to become probably the same level as the guy we took fourth round or whatever it was. What else we got here? Not recognizing any guys that I scouted out. Kirk Samuels was one guy I scouted out. He's a 50 and only a 77 potential, so I think we got the best third baseman, which is good. Can't go wrong with that. What else we got here? Didn't scout out any of these guys. This guy's got 67 potential, but he's a 67 overall at 19. That's funny. And there's Magruder. We got a better pitcher. I'm so glad we didn't chase Magruder. I am so glad. He was the first overall pick too, wasn't he? The Pirates done goofed. They took a 66 at 21, who's only got 84 potential. So we got a better pitcher in a late round somehow. And yeah, Magruder, he's a solid pitcher, but he's not going to become like a super ace guy that wins Cy Youngs. Damn. Wow, we kind of looked into some of our picks completely, but sometimes that's what happens. You just got to get lucky at the right time. What else we got here? Barney Doyle. That was a really good player. We were looking at Barney Doyle. He went, I think it was like 7th overall. I can't remember. It was a little bit after our pick. He's got 89 potential, but he's a 67 overall at 19. Yeah, he's going to be a pretty solid player. There you go on the Diamondbacks. Good pick for them. I don't think any of these other guys I looked at. What else we got here? Brian Barreto, I did look at him. He's only got 78 potential. How did we get so lucky? A lot of these early starting pitchers were not that good. And then the pick we got randomly in the 4th round was good. Wow. Did we get the best steal of the draft at this rate? I feel like we did. What else we got here? Some solid players, potential-wise. But I think we might have had the best draft in the league, almost. Unless I'm just missing stuff, because I'm kind of just skimming through this. Oh, Voylet was bad. He was bad. Our scouts were right. We thought he was going to be a 69 to a 98 potential, I think it looks like, based on scouted potential. Yikes. 69 overall. He was a 1st-round pick. And he's got D potential. Oh my god. Baltimore, you done goofed. Yeah, Baltimore had a rocky draft up to Medina, basically. And Medina's decent. Halbrook I was looking at as well. He's not that great either. So I guess we got lucky that a lot of our players went off the board, because or else we might have ended up taking some of these guys. Jeez. 71 at 21, but only 60 potential. Yeah, I think we had the best draft in the league, to be honest. 54 overall at 22 is not good. Oof. Yeah, a lot of these teams had a rough draft, and in us, we had a pretty good draft, I think. Yeah, I feel like we had the best draft, because a lot of these players don't look that great. Like a 44 at 22, oof. This is a big woof. I apologize if this episode's really long. It's probably in like the 40-minute range, but it's important just to take a look at all these drafted players around the league too. So maybe I could have put this at the start of the next episode, but oh well. Maybe I'll do that next season. So there we go. And Phil Gaucho, yeah, not that great. Not that great. Glad I didn't take him. And yeah, there's our picks. Yeah, I think we had the best draft. Steve Schneider, solid. Fletcher Hoffman, he might be more of like a AAA player, AA player. But Cardenas, solid out of the gate. He will probably be on the MLB team next season. And then Garth Howe, I am very excited for this guy. And Bill O'Donnell has a high ceiling as well, but he's only a 48, but definitely a project player. And then Ollie Gelman, project player, but has a very high ceiling. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So next episode, we'll simulate the rest of the season. We'll get all the off-season done as well, and we'll get ourselves set up for another episode where we're going to just basically be scouting out players again and build up this team in terms of prospects. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.